Hi guys, Alex here from Drayton's. Here we've got a bit of a special one. We have a Mercedes-Benz 280 SL, commonly known as the Pagoda due to the shape of the hardtop roof. It's got 14-inch pressed steel wheels with nice fat rubber. Beautiful colour in this burgundy. I believe it might be called Rolls-Royce burgundy, something like that. At the back there is a surprisingly large boot. Obviously there's no electronic roof that takes up the space in the boot, so you do actually get a reasonable amount of space, enough space for a couple of suitcases should you want to go on a long journey in it. We have a twin exit exhaust, which makes the rear end look even nicer than it normally does. These are one of the prettiest cars ever made in my personal opinion. They look great and they sound great, which I will show you in just a second. Inside we've got a full custom interior, so you've got a beige / cream interior with matching burgundy. You've also got matching seat belts, which weren't standard when the car came out because it didn't need seat belts at the time, but they've been fitted afterwards. You've also got the transverse jump seat at the back. The seats are incredibly comfortable, almost like lounge chairs, wonderfully comfortable, and the whole car just feels nice and comfy. So we have a 2.8 litre straight six engine, putting out roughly 170 brake horsepower, and we're also paired with a 4-speed automatic. You could get this with a 4-speed manual or a 4-speed auto. The automatic is very, very smooth. It is actually smoother than some autos I've driven that are a lot newer than this car. Inside, as I mentioned, very, very comfortable. We've got these really thick leather seats, really good quality leather, very, very soft. There's lots of padding in the seats, and also there is not suspension for the seats, but they do make it a lot softer when you're getting in, so it's not a fixed base. We have a nice steering wheel, big old steering wheel, with the chrome section here. That is the horn. So it used to have, some cars from this era had this ring here, some had a ridiculously big one that came out before they decided to just make it into the centre. We have your speedo on the left, your rev counter on the right, and your various little screens in the centre with the oil pressure, fuel and things like that. We've also got your light switch on here as well. We have the clock on the left hand side, and you've also got the removal of the original radio / cassette player. That has been replaced with this 280 SL cover here, but you do have a custom Marshall speaker, again covered in the same leather as the rest of the car to match it. It's very, very nice Bluetooth speaker, nice modern, but it doesn't stand out too much because of the colour combo that's been used. As you can see, you've got the gold / bronzy shade, which kind of matches the carpet, and then the cream leather on the top. Inside is very, very nice, very comfortable, and technically you can fit three. Technically you can actually have 3 people in this car due to that transverse jump seat. I wouldn't necessarily advise it, but it is actually allowed. So we have recirculating ball steering, so with power assistance as well. So instead of the car being very, very difficult to move the steering wheel, especially when you're stationary, it's actually very easy, more like a modern car. Makes driving it a lot easier, a lot less taxing as well than some of the classic cars of this era, and even newer up to the 80s and 90s, which don't have power steering. When you're trying to move them dry on a solid surface, it's very, very difficult until you get up to speed, which is when that sort of steering comes into its own, whereas this is just easy to use all the time. This car does also come with a hard top as well as the standard soft top. Quite revolutionary for the time. We've got disc brakes all around rather than drum brakes, which are most common of that era, and so even some cars nowadays still use drum brakes. Some of the smaller hatchbacks and things like that, small power, use drum brakes on the rear. and you've also got independent front and rear suspension, so it makes the ride a lot more compliant, a lot more easy to use, just a lot more comfortable really. Performance is good as well. Obviously it doesn't really compare to cars of nowadays, but it will do 0 to 60 in about 11 seconds I believe for the auto. I think it's 10 for the manual. But yeah, it's lovely to drive, and you don't get a sound like that from really any car nowadays, especially not with a straight six. That is just a wonderful sound. It has been warmed up, so I will give it a slight you don't find that noise in any cars now, not with all the emissions laws and particulate filters and stuff like that. It's just a pure natural sound. German straight six, one of the best sounding engines ever and one of the best looking cars in my opinion. If you need any more information, please feel free to give us a call, and we will do our best to help out with any questions. Thank you.